Hey guys, have you ever been on a road trip and you found yourself on the side of the road as a result of a mechanical, and you find out that the best time to plan for that mechanical breakdown was well before the trip ever started? I'm going to talk about that today. Secondly, we're going to talk about some of the ways of cutting some of your food budget while traveling, yet eating much better. So hope you guys will stay tuned for that. And here's the video. So imagine you're on a nice scenic road trip, miles away from home, and you have a mechanical. It could be as simple as a flat tire, which sometimes you can fix yourself, sometimes not. It could be a fuel starvation issue. That's embarrassing. Or you could actually have an honest-to-goodness mechanical where you need to get your machine to the nearest service center who can work on it. Well, then you get to pull out your trusty rectangle of knowledge and find out where the nearest facility is. Then start finding tow trucks in your area that can take you to it. You get to shop for prices and find out who's available, and that's time consuming, all while you're standing alongside the road. Or you can contact your roadside assistance program and they can help you. Now, not all roadside assistance packages are the same, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. We found out during our lap around America in the spring of this year that not all roadside assistance programs are created equal. The marketing paraphernalia we looked at before we chose to take the one with our Spyder insurance policy would take us to the nearest place that is authorized to work on the Am Spyder at no cost. Well, when you noodle down into the actual policy, the wording of the policy says it will take you for 15 miles, and then after that, you get to pay the difference. I wish we had known that in advance so we could actually do some better shopping and preparations. Also, during the preparation for this particular video, I found out that when you utilize roadside assistance through your automotive insurance company, that constitutes a claim on your insurance, which could in the long run affect your overall insurance rates. And in some cases, if you have a lot of claims, you could result in being actually dropped by your insurance carrier. The option is to have a standalone roadside assistance program, such as AAA, Good Sam, or other similar programs. Now, each one is a little different in what they cover, how far they will take you. For example, AAA has tiers, either 100 or 200 miles to a nearest place to get your machine worked on. Good Sam, in reading their marketing paraphernalia, says it's unlimited. I sort of doubt it's unlimited, but that's what it says in the marketing paraphernalia. So we are in the process of doing some homework to select our next roadside assistance service provider. Now, when you select your own roadside assistance program, there are many variables you need to work on. How far do you anticipate or expect them to tow you? But like any insurance policy, the more insurance you buy, the more it's going to cost you. So it's not likely that you're going to be able to find an unlimited towing plan for a bargain basement price. So I would recommend, if you're considering doing a roadside assistance program, take a look at all the options that are available and do your own cost-benefit analysis and see which one would be the best for you. A few weeks ago, we asked you, the viewer, to send us some videos of you guys, including your favorite rides, some stories about places you've been, some interesting challenges you've had, and the results have been somewhat positive. So we're going to start with including the very first one now.
Hi, I'm Terry.
And I'm Wilma.
And we ride a 2015 RT Limited. We've been to the 48 lower states and love riding Spyder. We've got over 83,000 miles on it.
Right now we're at Red Rock Canyon in Oklahoma. It's a state park and it's a site that you would not expect to see in our lovely home state. Enjoy your rides, and here are some of our favorite places.
One of my favorite topics is meal preparation and meals when traveling. Yeah, we all like to eat at nice restaurants and enjoy that, but if you're not careful, your food expenses can easily exceed that of your accommodations. That is a large chunk of the overall pie. So we're trying to cut that back a little bit as much as we can. Recently, we had an opportunity to go out to the Overland Expo East, which was here in Virginia, and we took a couple of courses or presentation from Chef Corzo, and I'll put his link up here. And he specializes in outdoor travel related food prep and meals. It was rather interesting, and it inspired us to start preparing some of our own meals in that format, basically one pot, simple, mini shelf stable items, and to get away from my all-time standby, which was our freeze-dried meals. Now, I've always loved these, but you know, they're not gourmet, and they are pricey, and they're pretty high in sodium. But I still think we're going to be carrying these, at least a few of these, whenever we travel, because it's always nice to have something you just have to add boiling water to, and you have a meal, and it's quick and it's simple. There's no thought about it, and these have a shelf life. Well, this one expires in 2052. I will be in my 90s by then. So you have 3 meals a day, and our strategy is we'll eat something simple and light for lunch and breakfast. One of the options is if we're going to eat it in a hotel room or on the trail, we will have something as simple as Chef Corzo introduced us to, grits. In this case, we'll be using instant grits, some cheese, cheddar cheese. Now this has even though it's a refrigerated dairy product, you can carry this with you for a significant period of time, probably a couple of weeks without having to worry about it, because that's the nature of cheese. That's why cheese was created to begin with, because it's a very shelf-stable product. And bacon. We stumbled across this some time ago. This is the Jack Link's brand bacon jerky. They call it jerky. It is bacon, folks, and it has a shelf life equal to that of the freeze-dried meals. And all you got to do is use it like you would already use bacon. It's already cooked. You can eat it right out of the bag. You can cut it up and use it in your meals. And we would like to take some grits, put some cheddar cheese in it, and some bacon, and you have a pretty tasty meal. One of the other items is something that he introduced us to, was the Tillamook brand of beef jerky. Now this particular variety of beef jerky has no added sugar. Most of the jerky you buy in the store is just soaked with sugar and soy sauce, and it just makes it unpalatable. But this actually has a taste much like roast beef, and it's much more tender than a lot of the other jerky. And you can actually cook with it and turn it back into a regular roast beef product, which is really handy. Does this require refrigeration? The manufacturer says once you've opened the bag, just like the bacon, it's good for 3 days without refrigeration. In the bag, it's indefinite. So today we're going to prepare a meal using the jerky. So what we're going to do is prepare a meal that I have pre-packaged in advance. Now you don't necessarily have to do this, but I've done it for simplicity. I've got some egg noodles, some beef jerky, some sun-dried tomatoes, a bouillon cube, and a small container of garlic powder. Now, I made this a few weeks ago. It doesn't have a name for this entree. It's just a collection of stuff. also is a little red pepper, which you can probably see right there, and to give it a little bit of zing. Now, the black pepper in the jerky will give it a little bit of fire, but I think that red pepper will give it a little bit more. I'm going to use my little camping stove that I always take with me. Oh, also, I have some broccoli. Now, where do you get broccoli so you can carry it with you when you're traveling? You can go to a salad bar at a restaurant or a grocery store, or buy a small container of the broccoli, and you could even buy a small bag of frozen broccoli, although I prefer fresh. And this came from our kitchen. Now, broccoli will last several days without any refrigeration, and all the ingredients I'm using requires no refrigeration if you consume it within a couple of days after taking it out of the refrigerator. Get my little bouillon cube here. Little beef bouillon cube. A little container of garlic powder. Add just enough water to cover it. Then fire the stove up. I'm going to reserve the broccoli to near the end, because it's going to take about 10 to 12 minutes to get once it starts boiling, to get the noodles nice and soft, and also to rehydrate the beef and the sun-dried tomatoes, which coincidentally is about the same amount of time it takes to prepare one of your bag freeze-dried meals. So we're just going to set and wait. Been on the stove now about 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm going to add my broccoli. You know, you could add it a little earlier if you like your broccoli a little crunchy, or a little later if you want it crunchy, or a little early if you want it soft. Actually, it smells pretty darn good. Now, this is a recipe that I just made up using my imagination. Chef Corzo has a lot of recipes on his YouTube page and on his website, and also he has several books, several cookbooks with recipes. Recommend you check those things out just to give it a shot. It's amazing what you can do with this concept. Now, we're making this outside. Now, there's nothing to keep you from making this in a standard hotel room. Now, I know some people may go, I don't know if I want to cook in the hotel room. The hack we have found is you use the bathroom. Turn on the vent, and that way you suck out any of the air. You don't have to worry about setting off any smoke alarms, and that way you can prepare your meal. And this is a nice, wholesome meal with some fresh vegetables. And in about another minute, I have my lunch for today. The beef is fully rehydrated and gets very tender. The noodles are done. You can add some soy sauce to it if you're so inclined. I think the salt from the jerky will give it enough salt, but you could add some of that too if you want to. So anyway, I hope this is giving you some ideas about some ways to cut back your meal costs while traveling, and I'm going to have some lunch. Well, guys, I hope you found that video somewhat informative and kind of points you in the right direction on those two subject areas. If you did find it useful, please give us a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. So until next time, guys, take care. Thanks for watching.